Okay, here we are. It is 2 a.m. I'm in the twilight zone. The third list is Theta Leonis, representing the autumnal equinox, September 23rd. It relates to the element of water and to the card suits of cups and hearts. Number 1 is the first week of September. This is the song Apocryphon by the band The Sword from the 2012 album Apocryphon. I made a video some time ago, a couple of weeks ago, about this song, trying to illustrate a bit what it's about in that video via pictures. But here I suppose I will talk about it. Apocryphon means something hidden or kept secret, and is one of the Sword's most philosophical songs. That whole album is, I would say. But especially this particular track. It combines ideas from Gnosticism, cosmology, mysticism, Platonism, and modern physics into a single worldview, awakening to a deeper reality where someone briefly perceives that reality from a cosmic perspective. Set adrift in the multiverse by the whims of fate, enthralled to a demiurge, we all await escape. This is about higher beings shuffling around lower beings in a manner that is beyond their will. Infinite possibilities, yet only one present now. The demiurge in the Gnostic system is a sub-deity who imprisons souls in the material world like a lobster trap. And so the soul, being aware of its own limitations, desires freedom from it, as if they are confined by a higher power to their own consciousness. Darkness and light entwine. Everything is all the time. All around you points a line. Everything is all the time. Apparently, conflicting realities are in truth two parts of the same mechanism, the dynamo of reality itself. Of course, I see this in the magnetic field, which is the axiomatic blueprint for everything in creation. In states of higher awareness, coincidences and pattern recognition become more meaningful. Everything takes on a purpose and function, a reason to be, and so everything feels connected. Since we are in a fractal universe, everything is. Everything mirrors everything else, from the greatest galaxy in existence down to the smallest particle. Everything is a reflection of the whole, on an ever-diminishing scale. Everything all the time is the inverse of the apparent truth, which is that time moves in a linear fashion. And so it is saying that all time converges in a single point, i.e. a temporal singularity. Instead of suggesting that things may happen in the future, it is saying that everything already has happened and is happening now, simultaneously. This is the general concept of the multiverse. From beyond the waveform, breaching the wall. This is the point where light becomes matter. The wall is the edge of reality, the veil, as it were. In a Gnostic or Platonic sense, it is consciousness descending into material form, giving birth to a universe, mother of all. This seems to be referring to Sophia, the mother of the demiurge, since it says mother of all, but it could also be analogous to Plotinus' twin, the One, the source of all things. Living information, transverging space-time. This seems to be either referring to simulation theory and or the idea that matter reacts differently when observed. Space-time is a reference to Einstein's paradigm, with what he called spooky action at a distance. Living information recalls the holographic universe concept where matter is illusory. In my system, this would be the light from which everything is made, the signal that is broadcast into the multidimensional screen of reality. Flowing down from the overworld into the minds of mankind. This to me is directly analogous to the Platonic nous, the driving intelligence of the cosmos. the world or form above that of the collective soul and material world. You want to live for eternity, to see behind the veil. The veil is the point of the crossroads between our reality and that which creates it, the next higher level of the ladder. In Platonism, it would be the world soul, although I don't really believe in the collective soul concept. In my worldview, we maintain our autonomy all the way up the chain as cosmic beings. However, there's another theory of the world soul, which is the universal consciousness itself. I would tend to believe that more than I would a collective soul of humanity. Everything comes around again. The serpent eats its tail. This is the Ouroboros, the endless cycle of time and change. In my system, this would be the magnetic torus field, always churning and spinning up creation. Material reality is only a small part of existence. Above it is hidden a much deeper world where opposites merge, time is non-linear, and consciousness participates on a cosmic scale. Repeating births and deaths and endless reincarnation are phases within an eternal cycle of growth rather than absolute beginnings or endings. Number 2. This is the second week of September. This is the song Oblivion by Mastodon from the 2009 album Crack the Sky. I don't have much to say about this track other than it is a song about Brann Dailor losing his sister Sky to suicide and feeling he failed her by not being able to prevent it. number 3. This is the third week of September, and I have chosen the song Astronomy. Originally by the Blue Oyster Cult on the 1974 album Secret Treatise, but I have chosen the Metallica version from the 98 album Garage Incorporated. The first verse is more or less an introduction of the character Desdenova, which I say is Orion. The second verse is about the celestial clock and the zodiac. The bridge is a chart with the sun and moon being opposite one another, which would make it a full moon. In the next verse it says the light never warms. This is referring to the moon, and the moon's light has been proven, scientifically I would say, to be colder than the surrounding temperature. It is a measurable fact. If you go out at night, it has been done by many people, measuring the temperature of the ground that is touched by moonlight versus ground that is in shadow. And the ground in the shade from the moonlight is warmer than the ground in the moonlight. But that wasn't really known back in the 70s when this was written, so I find that rather fascinating. Then at the end it talks about the dog being fixed and consequent. This is referring to Sirius, known as the dog star. The dog is said to belong to Orion. If the sun and moon are opposite each other, then this would place the full moon over Orion at midnight on the winter solstice while the sun is in Sagittarius. And so the song is about the harmony of the sun and moon and the winter solstice.
Clock strikes 12 and moonshots burst out at you from the hiding place. Miss Carinus and Susie Deal would find themselves at Four Winds Bar. It's a nexus of the crisis and the origin of storms. Just a place to hopelessly count to time. And then came me.
Number 4. This is the 4th week of September. The song is Never Pass This Way Again. This is an obscure song by a band called Perfume Tree on their 95 album A Life Away. It's a female vocalist that represents Maven, as every 4th and 10th track do. Now on this song and on the next one after this, I could not find lyrics on the internet for them, for one thing, and on the other hand, I could not discern the lyrics myself by listening to them. For Never Pass This Way Again, I got some of the lines. For 10 of 7 Bell, I listened to it and I could tell it wasn't going to be fruitful, so I didn't really bother spending much time on it. But with Never Pass This Way Again, I could pick out the lines where she says, "It's all over, somehow I'll see you again, we see as we fly overhead, love until life, we'll pretend that we're dead, angels will watch our thoughts, it's mind over matter, the air is so fresh and the sky is so blue, sorrow and sadness affect us today, the tears in the past are so far away." These are the lines that I could discern. And from what I can glean, this is a song about building up one's character and moving forward. The idea of mind over matter is essential to bettering oneself, not letting the appearance of your world, your reality around you, determine your fate. You will, through the application of one's will, persevere and find a way to make your desires happen, make your world come true. And so I see this song as being a step in that process. The 5th week of September, this is 10 of 7 Fell by the band Spiritu from a 2006 split album called Human Failure. Split between Spiritu and another band called Village of Dead Roads. If you want to try and listen to it and figure out what they're saying yourself, feel free to do so. But for this tape, when I was trying to make them all match, originally I was trying to make them all match the same length at the end of the tape at 1 hour and 16 minutes, I cut the end of this track off. There are several of these tracks on probably all 5 of these tapes where I tweaked them in some way, I cut parts out, or the ending off, or something like that. There's probably one on each tape where I did that, and this is the one on this tape, along with another one that's unique later. But this one had static, several minutes of static at the end for whatever reason, probably 2 or 3 minutes of static, and I cut that out. There's no reason for it to be there. Number 6 is the first week of October. This is the song Rational Gaze by Meshuggah from their 2002 album Nothing. Although I choose to use the remastered version because it has a blue cover instead of the original orange cover, because I prefer cool colors to warm colors. This song utilizes what I would call reductionist thinking to make a metaphor concerning sight to describe looking too deeply for something that likely does not exist, and the misinformation that will present itself if we do. Instead, the song encourages us to do the opposite, to blur reality so we can see clearly, see the truth. From a spiritual standpoint, this song represents the beginning stages one takes before reaching enlightenment, turning away from material reality to the inward soul, by closing one's eyes and meditating to realize these truths. The truth of what has been concealed, or the soul, since it lies beyond what we can see with our eyes, only to be seen with our inner eye, or self-analysis. Also intuition. The systematic denial of the crystalline is the Western civilization's denial of the soul, which is like a crystal that refracts light from truth, or our light-induced image of truth. Truth is consciousness. It takes an insane mind to question the reality they find themselves in. The sane mind are those that accept it and adapt to it. They become the image of what they see, and they reflect it back. Those who do not, those are aberrant minds. Those are insane people who do not adapt. Those who are not as malleable to such coercion. I emphasize insane as that is how a sane mind will see it. insanity and sanity merge as you come into balance of questioning your reality and living within it, ultimately creating a new reality for yourself. If you are only insane without the balance of sanity, you will be lost from what is real. The same is true for the sane, as they live in what they are told and cannot think for themselves. The truth is always in the middle. Once we realize our inner knowledge via the soul, progression, growth, and awaken to this material plane, our perspectives become distorted from learning this knowledge, leaving us disillusioned. As I said before with Apocryphon, this is the soul descending into materiality. But in the endless cycle of birth and rebirth, it's not destructive to become material, to become corporeal. It is a continual cycle of growth. Our soul is eternal, while this body is temporary. We are stuck on this mortal plane and unable to reach the ladder that leads to heaven and eternal life. Forever we are stuck in the cycle of birth and rebirth, regeneration and destruction. We are unable to attain the true knowledge that will lead us to eternal life and break the cycle of resurrection. Number 7. This is the second week of October, and this should be an instrumental track, but as I said, I tried to make them all initially fit a certain timeline, and I could not find an instrumental track that I liked that was the correct length that I needed and that I wanted to use. So I ended up having to use this, and it's not an instrumental, but it's not quite a regular song either. And so this is just what this tape wanted to be, and so that's what it is. It's a song called Black Wings by a group that refer to themselves as Gregorian, sold their tapes under the name Gregorian. And this is from the 2010 album Dark Side of Chant. And all their albums are usually a collection of cover songs done in the style of Gregorian chant. But here and there throughout their albums, they had a few that they made themselves, their own creations. And this is one of those. To me, this describes a voice luring people to their own destruction. It's turning the traditional idea of what Gregorian chants are for on its head. The Latin phrase is from the Aeneid, which says, "I fear the Greeks even when they bring gifts." This is the Latin phrase repeated over and over in the song. It's left unresolved at the end, like asking a question with no response. Number 8. This is the third week of October. This is a great little song called Babylon's Burning by the band Wasp on their 2009 album Babylon. It is a pretty great song describing the events of Revelation. The only other one I really know of to do this from a Christian perspective is the Testament song Seven Seals. But I went with this one since it fits the set better than Testament, and I like the way they describe what's going on a bit better than Testament did in their song.
Listen close to who's you hear of thunder's coming dread. John the Revelator's dream it seemed a terror vision of the spirit led. With wrath the rain and was slain the flame and kneel dead. Seal the kiss. Plagues and pain and fire ray and blaspheme on his lips. Babylon's a burning, Babylon's a burning. 666 and 7 seals. A fear and his horses see. Babylon's a burning, Babylon's a burning. 666 the rising beast. There's a mark of Babylon to be. Rising with the beast, a sea of men, bloody moon of red. The whole Babylon to bleed the sea. Make them take the mark upon their heads. And bound to kneel, a mark to seal the Sultan to a kiss. Fire and flames and souls to claim and rise from the abyss. Babylon's a burning, Babylon's a burning. 666 and 7 seals. A fear and his horses see. Babylon's a burning, Babylon's a burning.
Number 9. This is the fourth week of October. The song called Transfixed by the band Twisted Tower on their 2003 album Crest of the Martyrs. On the previous tape, I said that I had switched out a song because there was also another song on the third tape that had the same meaning, the same point to it. And that was this song here. To me, this is a song about witches and occultists sacrificing people. And I always like to see that in movies and music and games because it does happen in the real world. It's the next level up in the hierarchy from pedo child trafficking. Sex is used to work their energy up, as is torture and other things, to build up an emotional state of frenzy and fear, which produces adrenaline. From that, they get adrenochrome. And they drink this blood and they ingest it for the life force. This song is about a darker topic than it may sound at first, but the lyrics paint the picture. It's from one of my favorite albums, Crest of the Martyrs. The whole album seems to be a sort of a warning about this sort of thing. The powers that be and the occult nature of it, and the name of the album itself, Crest of the Martyrs, I think is kind of telling you what's going on there. For those who fight for the truth.
In a place where the nights forever and the wolves would never dare. There's an evil magic in the air. Beware. There's a price for those who wonder what lies inside the wizard's lair.
Number 10. This is the first week of November. It is a song called White Star by the band Fabric on their 2017 album City Islands. This represents Samhain, or Halloween. It is a song about someone caught between self-destruction and transcendence. They can't break the cycles they keep repeating, yet they are seeking true orientation and direction. Perseverance through the point of no return, she finds the new birth and becomes as lightning with endless potential, indicated by the reference to flying. Also, she says she does not care if she dies. This is a particular point of determination where you are determined to reach this goal, this point, no matter what it costs, no matter what it takes, even if you die. It's kind of like, it reminds me of the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks, and he's on this island for years, and he's waiting for people to come save him. He thinks that eventually somebody will come get him. Somebody will come by and pick him up. But no one ever does, and eventually he has to resolve himself to set out into the open ocean himself, whether he lives or dies, in an attempt to find somebody out there. And that's kind of the mentality I see in this song here. Number 11, the second week of November. This is the song I mentioned that was unique. It's called, or I call it, The Clouding Redux. This is a collection of 3 tracks from the album Framing Armageddon, 2007, by the band Iced Earth. It's a combination of 3 songs from the tape: My Charge to Keep, Motivation of Man, and The Clouding. Essentially, I cut the first half of The Clouding off because it was very slow and boring, but I like the second half a lot. And then I put the other 2 tracks, or the majority of those tracks, I forget the specifics, the details of what I did, but probably 2/3 of the 2 songs, and then the latter half of Clouding, and it ended up being 13 minutes long. This album is about a group of beings called the Setians who are taking over humanity. This is clearly analogous to the Archons or Reptilians, interdimensional beings, or whoever it is that are actually taking over the real world and trying to exterminate humanity. If you listen to it, the album, you realize that from the view of the Setians, they are not doing anything evil. To them it is humanity who is corrupt and need to be restrained or erased. This is more like a Lovecraftian setting where the cosmic beings look at humanity more like an infestation of insects than viable souls, potentially capable of becoming cosmic beings themselves. With lines like "never trust the motives of man" and "the human core is lies," it isn't talking about human behavior, but traits that are intrinsic to humanity itself. They're not destroying humanity as punishment for evil actions, but rather they are destroying human essence. When we kill a spider in the house, there is no real reason for it. We kill it because it is a spider. And that's the idea here. There is no reason per se. Number 12, the third week of November. This is the song Perfect Crime by Juno Reactor from the 2008 album Gods and Monsters. Now, if you know Juno Reactor, this song is very different from their normal sound, their normal type of music. Not only is it a regular song that sounds like a regular song, but it's a slow-paced one. Usually their style is just chaotic, fast-paced music, often with no lyrics. This album has lyrics on pretty much most of the tracks. Although this song is called Perfect Crime, it is not about a crime, at least not by humans. It is essentially about the transient nature of all things. The impermanence itself is the crime, or what you might call entropy. It mentions Orpheus, whose music changed reality, and which could not be reversed. There is no resurrecting that which is gone. Taken with the multiplicity of Apocryphon at the beginning of many simultaneous worlds, all playing out every possible scenario, and that by making changes you are switching into the reality where that change exists. This is saying the opposite. Whereas Apocryphon celebrates transience, this song labels it a crime. In terms of spiritual growth, not only are we growing, but so is everyone else. And moreover, so are all the stars and galaxies, black holes, and the universe itself are constantly moving, changing, and growing. In the Timaean sense, all of these things are alive, and in some way, from particles to stars, each are participating in its own development, its own growth, its own life cycle, one way or another. Number 13. This is the fourth week of November. This is the State of Non-Return by Om on their 2012 album Advayetic Song. This song is about the Buddhist idea of reaching nirvana or enlightenment, which is a state of non-return. Once someone crosses into transcendence, they are no longer bound to the cycle of material rebirth. In the Timaean sense, this would be when we become a star, as mentioned earlier. In Buddhism, though, once this occurs, they lose their individuality and join the world soul, or collective, as in Platonism. But as I keep saying, God has never revealed to me that there is any state of being in which we are not any longer who we are. The different forms we take are more like states of matter. For example, going from living body to disembodied spirit is like going from solid to liquid to a gaseous state. Fire will be the next level above that. So this song is about reaching a state of awareness that you cannot come back from, similar in a way to what the previous song was talking about, only in a positive way. The total time for this album was 1 hour and 16 minutes. List number 4, Gamma Sagittarii, equates to the winter solstice, December 21st, equating to the element of Earth, and the card suits, Pentacles and Diamonds. Number 1 is for the first week of December, and is the song Drown in Ashes by Celtic Frost from the 2006 album Monotheist. This is probably the bleakest of all of the songs on my list, and fits very well as the opener to the Winter album. It is essentially about someone who has begun to associate themselves with their grief and pain to a point it just becomes part of their own identity. The title seems to indicate someone clinging to what once was, but is now lost, gone forever. He perseveres in lines like, "My hands are cut, but still I sail." His suffering and hope are entwined together. My pain, my joy, my soul, my tomb. It's not the happiest song on the list.
A world of scars and caresses pale, and buds as chaste as pristine dew, and flowers placed across your face. I traced a life I've lost with you. This bleakest pit that you've unveiled. I hate to love as it is pain. My hands are cut, but I still sail an ocean of sadness in the rain. In the rain. My flesh, my blood, my room, my cry, my broken back, my all now dies. My soul, my tune, my pain, my joy, my darkest mind, my love destroyed. My flesh, my blood, my room, my cry, my broken back, my all now dies. My soul, my tune,
Number 2, this is the second week of December and is another one of my favorite songs from one of my favorite albums. This is Skyforger by Amorphous from the 2009 album Skyforger. This song is about Ilmarinen, the blacksmith and central heroic figure in the Kalevala. But instead of him being essentially the equivalent of Hephaestus, he is here portrayed as more of a Zeus or Ptah character. He is creating the world around us. So this is a song about bringing order out of chaos, turning emptiness and non-existence into the cosmos, the material world.
Inside this non-existence, I know very clearly the directions, all the points of every potential quarter. I fought my wisdom to the night surrounding all. I fought my heartbeat to the dawn of heaven's wide. I know the sun and the moon, the names of stars, they move and purpose. I mark the
Number 3. This is the third week of December, and is the song The Future of Mankind by Judas Priest from the 2008 album Nostradamus. The whole album is about Nostradamus, and this one is about his death, or rather him preparing for his death, and he contemplates the future and his prophecies. It's more or less a song about mortality and a man's life's work. We only have a certain amount of time to do what we are going to do. At some point we will have to relinquish that to history.
What's the road we come into infinity? My quest has now been won. I found my destiny. The darkness brings me home, rewarding me with peace. I see you, I feel you, I hear you as my life evolves. Visions of the world created in my mind, I made them all begin. The future of mankind reveals what must become, to manifest through time.
Number 4. This is the fourth week of December. A song called Carry Your Cross by the band Tiamat from the 2003 album Prey, as in animal prey. It equates to the day of Yule in the calendar wheel. I like this song because of the lines, "Carry your cross and I'll carry mine." Regardless of what they intend for it to mean, I, in my own mind, see it another way, personal to me, and this goes to the Bible. They are using a biblical reference and likely twisting it into their own intention, given the lyrics. But when I hear the phrase "carry your cross," I know what it means. It means not to pretend to be a Christian, but to actually be one. And very few people know what that is. It means living the life. It doesn't mean keeping all of these imaginary commandments that everyone thinks. They just assume that when you say you are a Christian, that you're keeping all of these laws, these unwritten laws. Especially non-Christians assume this about Christians, that they are all hypocrites because they're supposed to be doing all these good things and not doing any bad things. The life that they project on what a Christian is supposed to be is an impossible one. Much the same as the Torah. Keeping the Torah is impossible. Being a Christian is not about keeping the Torah, nor is it about morality or doing good things. I have said so many times, ad infinitum, being a Christian is about God turning a person into a new person, somebody else. And it is beyond our will, beyond our capacity to do so. He takes us from the road that we are on against our will, and he puts us onto a new road that he wants us on, by his will. We do not birth ourselves. We are children of God. It is his will that births us. We do not pray a prayer to get saved, and we don't get baptized to get saved, and we don't eat the cracker, take communion to be saved. It is his will and his will alone. He saves who he wants, the predestined elect from the beginning of time. And they know who they are because they are going down this road he put them on. And that is walking the walk, and that is carrying their cross. It is beyond their will. They do not have a choice. It's just a life that they're going to have. And those that he does not do that to cannot get to that road. They cannot take that road if they want to. This is why there are many different versions of Christianity, many different denominations and creeds. But the more regimented it is, the more ritualistic and ritualized the more official, the more dogmatic it is, the farther from the truth it is. There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. And that's what carrying your cross is all about. That's also why I put it on Christmas, by the way. Number 5, fifth week of December, is the song Place in the Sand by Iron Maiden from the 2003 album Dance of Death. I like this song a lot. It's not really a political song so much, it's more of a conspiratorial type song, but not in a direct way, more of an indirect way, where the lines are, everyone's waiting for something to happen, everyone's waiting for something to see, lunatics waiting for bigger disasters, everyone's waiting for news on TV. I like the line where he says, everyone's heroes tell everyone's lies. I guess I don't have much to say about it. The lyrics pretty much speak for themselves. Number 6, first week of January. This is the song called Parabola by Tool from their 2001 album Lateralis. Parabola is a celebration of life, the holy experience of birth, and the unlikely opportunity that we all share and get to be temporarily conscious of each other and the world around us. The song focuses on the realization through our bodily experience that others share the same limitations and desires as we do. And we will all eventually fade back into the greater cosmos as we were before our births. As I said before, in this nearly endless cycle of birth and rebirth, this realization of our own mortality urges us to treasure the life we have, use it to the best of our ability, and ignore base, unnecessary, unfulfillable desires that distract us from the richness of our experience of life. The line, "We are eternal, all this pain is an illusion," pretty much sums up the premise of the song. Also, when he says choosing to be here, implies the existence of a greater cosmos or multiverse that Apocryphon was talking about earlier. Number 7 is the second week of January. This is the song Cirrus B by Therion for the third time on the list. This is from their 2004 album Cirrus B. Well, the first one was a female vocalist for one of the 8 days. Second time was the male vocalist doing Thor the Powerhead. And this time it's instrumental, so I have them fitting each of the categories here. I picked this track because the tone of it, the sound of it, is similar to the one I have at the end of the album. Number 8, this is the third week of January. The song is called Lilin Child, or just Lilin, by Danzig on his 1999 album Danzig 6. And of course, this is in Hebrew lore. You have Lilith, who was the first wife of Adam, supposedly, according to the rabbinic traditions. They get it from Sumerian Babylonian myth. In Sumerian, it was Lilitu. It became Hebrew Lilith. But supposedly she was the first wife of Adam. She did not want to submit to anyone, so she became a demon, a succubus, preyed on men's desires. And with other demons, she ended up having many children. And these offspring were called Lilin, or Lilin. And so that's what this song is about. Number 9, the fourth week of January. This is the song Enemy of the State by Corey Taylor and Peter Steele, working on a collaborative effort for the 2005 album Roadrunner United, which was a 2-CD compilation tape with everybody, all the people from Roadrunner Records, kind of collaborating to some degree on this album that they were making. And the very last track on the second tape was called Enemy of the State. And to me, it was easily the best one on the album. And it really is the only one I remember, actually, because I took it and used it on my own CDs that I made. And now, the thing about this one is, unlike on the previous tape where I had some that I could not discern what the lyrics were, and there were no lyrics online because the songs were too obscure for them to have lyrics online, this one is well known enough to have lyrics online. But the problem is, the lyrics for the song are fake. There are no lyrics. He made them. It's not even a real language. He made up the sounds. He made up the words, and it kind of made a fake language for the song itself. It does not exist. And so you look up lyrics for it, and you find lyrics that somebody created. And it's this long list of bullshit that you can tell it's not real lyrics because it doesn't fit the structure of the song. Because he does repeat the chorus in the song using the same fake words. But the list that you look up the lyrics for, or the list that you find when you look up the lyrics, not repeat any of the lines. So it's not even trying to match the song's cadence. And I hate that. So whoever typed that up was not even trying to keep in the theme of the song. So because it has fake lyrics that sound real, all you're left to go by is the name, the title, and then you just sort of infer upon it whatever you have within yourself to begin with. And so I take this to mean fighting the evil Archie, fighting the powers that be, these demons taking over the world. That's the projection for myself that I put on. Number 10 is the first week in February, relating to the day of Imbolc, and I chose the song The Wasteland by Chelsea Wolfe from her 2011 album Apocalypsis. The title itself evokes a barren, lifeless landscape, not just physically but psychologically. The wasteland can be understood as a state of emotional exhaustion after trauma, grief, or depression. Rather than describing a specific event, the song paints the feeling of wandering through an inner landscape where vitality has disappeared. Throughout the song, there's a tension between wanting connection and feeling fundamentally alone. This is a recurring theme in Wolfe's writing. People reaching towards one another but being separated by fear, pain, or circumstances. The sparse instrumentation reinforces the sense of distance. Silence and space become part of the emotional message. Although the song is dark, it isn't entirely hopeless. Much of her work implores the ideas that pain changes a person rather than simply destroying them. She frequently uses landscapes, forests, oceans, deserts, ruins, not merely as settings, but as representations of inner states. And in this track in particular, the barren wasteland imagery mirrors emotional emptiness, while also suggesting a place where something now might eventually grow. The title comes from T.S. Eliot as a poem called The Wasteland. It depicts a spiritually exhausted modern world searching for renewal after devastation. The themes are the same: spiritual emptiness, fractured identity, longing for meaning, and the possibility of renewal after desolation. The Wasteland is less of a song about a particular person or event and more about living through a period after something important has ended, when the old self no longer exists, but the new self has not yet fully emerged. It's a song about inhabiting the in-between place, where everything seems stripped away. The song does not rush to resolve that tension. Instead, it lets the listener Number 11. This is the second week of February. This is the song Phoenix by Satyricon on their 2013 album Satyricon. This is not the normal vocalist for Satyricon. This is a guest vocalist, Sivert Høyen of Madrugada. This is a song about death, transformation, spiritual rebirth. The opening describes entering darkness only to be reborn again, as it says right here where everything ends. This suggests that endings, whether relationships, identities, or phases of life, are prerequisites for new beginnings. Lines about being a slave to some wretched old imagination of yesteryear, and flowers of fear growing in people's minds, imply that memories, old beliefs, and fear can imprison us. The song encourages leaving those behind to become something new. It has references to the sun god, Firebird, Queen of Souls. These draw on pre-Christian mythology. Rather than telling a literal story, these symbols evoke ancient cycles of death and renewal found in many traditions. This fits Satyricon usual set of motifs. The repeated refrain, "when the fire's work is done," suggests that fire is not destructive, but that it purifies. Only after passing through suffering or loss can the phoenix emerge reborn. This would then be true of us in our own growth and progression through life, and even from life to life. Then it says, "We are dreams within dreams." This echoes philosophical and literary ideas that reality is layered and uncertain, reinforcing the song's meditative or mystical atmosphere rather than presenting a straightforward narrative, which is always what the best songs do. You can tell when a song is inspired when it is making points without saying what the points are, and it makes you think and you contemplate on it. You can tell when a song is not inspired because the writer will just start telling you what they want to say, and the music just becomes a medium for their own belief structure, as opposed to being a bridge for you to find your own. Musically, Phoenix stands out from Satyricon's work, featuring clean vocals instead of the normal growling vocals, has a solemn, almost hymn-like or spiritual quality to it, which reinforces the song's themes of transcendence and rebirth. Overall, I would say it's more about accepting the necessity of endings, confronting the fear of change, and emerging spiritually renewed on the other side. Number 12, this is the third week of the month February, and I chose the song High Hopes by Pink Floyd from their last album, the 1994 Division Bell. The opening recalls childhood with a vivid, idyllic imagery, like when it says the grass was greener and the light was brighter. These lines aren't necessarily saying that the past is objectively better, but you always see it through rose-colored glasses of memory, nostalgia. They become something idealized. As adults, we tend to remember youth as simpler and full of possibility. When you're a kid, there's just a certain magic in the air. I remember days, it seemed like the afternoons would just linger forever. The opposite of when you're an adult and the day passes by in 2 hours. This song is particularly concerned with how quickly time moves. The lyrics describe growing older and realizing that many of the ambitions and dreams of youth have changed or been left behind. Rather than expressing regret, the song acknowledges that growing older inevitably changes who we are. The repeated phrase, the endless river, and references to following ambition towards the horizon, suggest that people spend much of life pursuing goals that always seem too far away. The high hopes of youth remain powerful, but reality is more complex than childhood expects them to be. The ringing of the division bell has begun. It can be interpreted in several ways: a signal that innocence has ended, or a metaphor for major life transitions, a reference to divisions between people, fitting the album's broader theme of communication and misunderstanding. I take it to be Pink Floyd had a song. I forget what album it was on. It was before Dark Side of the Moon. They had a song called Childhood's End. That's what the bell, to me, referenced. The song does not say that the past is better. Instead, it explores how memory reshapes what the past is in light of the current moment, the ever-present now, while life continues forward. Some interpret this song as David Gilmour looking back on Pink Floyd as a band and its history, the beginnings, the friendships, the creative ambitions, and the changes that occurred over the decades, particularly when Roger Waters left. I'm not sure I agree with this, but it's a possibility. It would fit the placement of the track on the album. It was their last album, and it was the last track on the album. So if you're going to have a retrospective song about your career, that would be the place to do it. But I never have really heard that in the lyrics. There's a little bit too much magic and mystery for there to be anything as tangible as a career. It's just a song, like a few of the others on this list, that is about forward momentum and the fact that you can never go back. All you will ever have is now, and the potential moving forward. But the past will never come back, nor will past potential. And so the song essentially is about looking back over one's life, not with regret, but with affection, realizing that the dreams evolve over time, and accepting that life is a mixture of achievement and disappointment, and continuing to move forward despite knowing that perfection is unattainable.
The light was brighter with friends around it. The nights of wonder, looking beyond the embers of bridges glowing behind us, to a glimpse of how greed it was on the other side. Steps taken forwards, but sleepwalking back again, dragged by the force of some inner tide. At a higher altitude, the flag unfurled, we reached the dizzy heights of that dreamed of world. by desire and ambition. There's a hunger still unsatisfied. Our weary eyes still stray to the horizon. Go down this road we've been so many times. The grass was greener, the light was brighter, the taste was sweeter, the nights of wonder with friends surrounded.
Number 13 is the fourth week of February. And this was the final track I had selected for the original 4 tapes, even though I did add a 5th one in. At the time, this was intended to be the final track. And for that, I picked the Masked Ball by Jocelyn Pook from her 1999 album Flood. This track is known for using a reversed recording of a Romanian chant. You have to reverse the recording and then translate it to English. And it says, "The Lord said to his disciple, a new commandment I give you, to pray to the Lord for mercy, life, peace, health, salvation, investigation, release and forgiveness of the sins of the servants of God, worshipers, merciful, and benefactors of this holy place." And this goes back to Crowley, who was the person who started the idea of reversing music. When you reverse music, you reverse the meaning. And so you have this, what is essentially a liturgy, being reversed. So you have a black mass, you might say, reversed Christian concepts and intention. This track was used in the movie Eyes Wide Shut, in the famous scene where he's in this masked ball. They're all wearing these creepy looking masks, and you have the central figure. They're all standing in a circle around the central figure. And if you look closely enough, the central figure's mask seems to change shape throughout the scene. Anyway, this is known for being a reference to the Illuminati and their types of hidden bullshit. And it just has a very weird sound to this track. Even without the reversed liturgy, it just sounds weird. But the point of it is to infuse in the moment a reversal of the divine order. It's a defiance of God. That is the point of the reversing of it. When you reverse Christian things, like an inverted cross, it negates the meaning and profanes it. If you watch the scene, he's actually carrying a censer around with the smoke. So it's essentially a mock mass. And so that brings the 4th one to an end. Total is 1 hour and 16 minutes.
Nocturno, jetzt ich liege durch den Mond passiv.
This is the 5th tape, which I call Polaris Prime. Since it does not use stars, there are no stars to assign because there are no more weeks to use. And so the stars assigned to the cardinal points of the solstices and equinoxes are no longer there. So I picked the center of the sky, the top of the dome of the heavens, which the other 4 points spin around. So we have Polaris Prime. And since there are no more weeks to use, I assigned them tarot cards, and the ether is the 5th element assigned to this list. Number 1 is the world card, given the number 21, and the Timaean equivalent of this is Gaia. Not to go too much into detail on the Timaean tarot, but in the Arcana, I did not make them one-to-one equivalents of the Rider Tarot. My system has 24 cards in the Arcana, and the ones that equate to the Rider deck have equivalencies. Some are not fully equivalent, some have multiple equivalents, and some of the Rider cards aren't there at all. I wasn't trying to reproduce that deck in mine. I was trying to make my own system what it is. And so I'll make a video on that at some point in the future. But for now, we're doing this. The title is The Unitive Knowledge of the Godhead by Om from the 2007 album Pilgrimage. The title is particularly revealing. Unitive means bringing into unity. Knowledge here is probably not intellectual information. It's closer to what the Greeks would call gnosis, what the Indian traditions call jnana, knowledge through direct realization. The Godhead is an old theological term referring not simply to God as a personal being, but to the divine essence or ultimate reality itself. So the title can be understood as direct experiential realization of ultimate reality through spiritual union. The opening lines describe arrival through a gray-veiled light and the fading of former efforts. This resembles the beginning of a mystical path in which the seeker leaves behind ordinary consciousness and past attachments. The line about memories and broken rays suggests purification of the mind, releasing fragmented identity. Abydos was one of ancient Egypt's holiest cities and the principal cult center of Osiris. In Egyptian religion, it represented death, initiation, resurrection. So when the song says, "Transmute now, remainder old Abydos," forward the acolyte, the initiate is moving through symbolic death into spiritual rebirth. The middle section speaks of celestial summits, disembodied legions, the pilgrim bowing. This echoes a common mystical pattern: humility, ascent, encounter with higher intelligences. Whether one interprets these as angels, bodhisattvas, or symbolic states of consciousness is left open. Perhaps the most fascinating image is referentials to Lazarus echoes forth Osiris Obelus. Here Om deliberately places Lazarus from the Christian concept of resurrection and Osiris, the Egyptian concept of resurrection, side by side. Both figures undergo death followed by restored life. The implication seems less about historical comparison than about a recurring spiritual archetype, transformative death to rebirth. One of the clearest philosophical references is Nirvikalpian. This comes from Nirvikalpa Samadhi, a concept in Advaita Vedanta and some yogic traditions. It refers to non-dual awareness, the cessation of conceptual distinctions, direct realization beyond subject and object. The song suggests that the seeker reaches this state after shedding the auric shroud. The phrase dhyanic refuge refers to dhyana, meditation, contemplative absorption. This is a central practice in Hinduism and Buddhism and is the linguistic ancestor of the Japanese word Zen. The ending says, "Arise, perceiver, returns to sky, arrive home, pilgrim seen." Notice it does not say the pilgrim becomes God. Instead, the seeker comes home. That is a common mystical motif. The soul realizes that reality from which it was never truly separated.
Memories and broken races.
Number 2 is The Devil, number 15. In my system, this is Pan. And the song is Cervix Couch by Christian Death from the 1984 album Catastrophic Ballet. To me, this is a song about alienation and living on the outside of society rather than within it. The melancholy tone describes the feeling more than the disjointed lyrics do. Told through the eyes of a leftist, whom people today would call a tranny, even though he was really more of a transvestite, but that term seems to have largely been forgotten. The opening line, "All together, all alone," pretty much sums up the piece, I think. I like his version of Venus in Furs better than the original, though. He did eventually kill himself. Number 3, The High Priestess, card number 2, and my system is Hecate. This is the song Fever Dreams by Dio from his 2000 album Magica. This is a song about one confronting their own demons. Yield unto temptation and be ruler of the world, recalls the story of Faust and Nietzsche's will to power. Then he says, but it seems I have heard that song before. Every promise that evil makes is timeless. The narrator recognizes these as illusory. Later he says, I have seen some evil as I've walked across the earth, but this is way beyond what eyes can see. The true evil is within the heart of every man, woman, and child on this planet. The invisible evil is the source of the visible evil. Wicked is as wicked does, and if I lose control, is this the way that hell is going to be? Evil is not a thing in itself, but it is an action, a choice. This is essentially Aristotelianism. Character is built through repeated actions. Instead of thinking he is evil, he worries he may become evil if he loses control of himself and his will. Have I fallen too far to rise? Been burning too long in the fire? Nearly every major religious and philosophical tradition wrestles with this concept. In Christianity, you have forgiveness, grace, and atonement. In Buddhism, there is liberation from attachment. Stoicism has returning to virtue, and existentialism has continual self-creation. The fire is intentionally ambiguous of whether it is destructive or purifying. Throughout the song, he hears the voices of temptation calling him back. And so the greater battles for all of us are within, and ones that no one else will ever see. And most people face these without even seeing them themselves.
Lately when my demons drag the night across my eyes, I just can't seem to fight it anymore. Yield unto temptation and be ruler of the world. But it seems that I have heard that song before, and the voices begin to sing, come home. I have seen some evil as I've walked upon the earth, but this is way
Number 4, The Hanged Man, number 18. In my system is Prometheus. The song is Parallax by the Changelings from the 2002 album Astronomica. This represents, as with the other ones before it, number 4 and number 10 are female vocalists, and this represents the Tropic of Capricorn, and the one later is the Tropic of Cancer, because we're done with the calendar cycle. In keeping with the ongoing stellar theme, this song is about a journey in a spaceship where everything breaks down and they lose contact with Earth, and the isolation slowly drives them all insane. Without the anchor to Earth and the paradigms thereof, they begin to lose the sense of who they are individually. So it's about the isolation and the existential entropy of the mind. When a person loses every point of reference to the world around them, the parallax metaphor becomes an examination of one's psychological awareness, asking the question, who are we? Who am I? Without everything around us grounding us to who we think we are, then what we think we are becomes nebulous. Number 5, The Star. And my system is Australia. This is the song Waiting for the Sun by Trouble from the 2007 album Unplugged. Not to be confused with the Doors song of the same name. This is about a search for transcendence, waiting for the awaited moment to arrive when light replaces the darkness. The imagery can be analogous to many things, including Jesus. In reality, I think this is about the answers we all look for in life that only await for us upon death and leaving the mortal realm behind.
I bought a trip to somewhere far away, where the stars never rise. Tuesday, always trying to save me. We don't really see more. should never be seen. Didn't know what I was living without. It was tomorrow's dream, waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun, waiting here all alone. So far away from home.
Number 6, The Tower, equated in my system to Poseidon. The song is Black Planet by Sisters of Mercy from the 1985 album First, Last, and Always. Ostensibly, the song is about a nuclear apocalypse and watching the world dying around you in the 80s Cold War mentality. However, since that really isn't a thing anymore, and in my lifetime I really don't remember it ever being a thing, I take it to be a song about emotional or intellectual exile and separation. The Black Planet isn't just merely the physical world, but what a person's own personal world becomes when they are in this mental state. A decaying, bleak world. An easy state for teenagers to fall into, and I think it's what turns a lot of them into lefties.
Kingdom come. Oh, black planets, black world, black planets, black world. Run around in the acid rain. Black planet, hanging over the highway. Out of my mind's eye, out of the memory. Black world, out of my mind. So still, so dark over you, and the rainbow rises here in the western sky. The kill to show for. At the end of the great white tear, I see a black.
Number 7, Death. In my system, it's Hades. An instrumental track, Night Diving, by the band Thrice, from their 2005 album Alchemy Index Volume 2. Even though this is themed around underwater diving, I feel it's more about cosmicism than the ocean. In cosmicism, there are forces so great around us, humanity barely even perceives it, and likewise they are barely perceived by the cosmic entities. similar to a human walking by an ant. They might see it, but they probably will never know it was ever there. Also, it could be taken by some intrepid explorers to represent diving into the human subconscious and exploring the dreamlike worlds of greater human consciousness, evoking the idea of Nietzsche's quote about the abyss. Number 8, The Magician, or Hermes in my system, Mercury. The song is Radiologue by OSI, the Office of Strategic Intelligence, from the 2009 album Blood. This is another song about leaving previous states of being behind and never going back to them. Someone being driven by their goal to the point of becoming disconnected with everything else around them, which eventually leads to a mental breakdown. The idea is that they are sustained by the very thing that is slowly destroying them. He talks about going west. In mythology, the west is always the world of the dead. The sun sets in the west and rises in the east. East is the land of birth and eternal life. The Garden of Eden was in the east. West is the desert, the last fading light of the sun. In The Lord of the Rings, all of the elves sailed west to a land they never returned from. That land is symbolic of the afterlife. Since the imagery is about sailing the ocean, it fits rather well after nighttime.
Sun knocks out, hold the radio
Number 9, The Sun, Helios in the Timaean Tarot. The song is Solar Soul by Samael from the 2007 album Solar Soul. This is essentially a song about human evolution, awakening, and the transformation of consciousness. I know I say that about all of them, but it is the point behind this collection of songs. The sun is the guiding light metaphorically for spiritual growth and psychological insight. The solar soul concept is intrinsically Timaean in the sense that we are all ascending towards becoming cosmic being, which is symbolized spiritually and literally by the sun. The sun represents a certain state of cosmic awareness souls can reach when they are not bound to materiality. There isn't really a better example of the cosmic souls I talk about than the stars themselves. They might well be the same thing. Number 10 is The Moon, Celine in My System. The song is Rocket Collecting by Mila Jovovich from the 2003 Underworld soundtrack, representing the Tropic of Cancer. This is a strange mix of lyrics that don't really paint a coherent picture of anything tangible. The best I can tell is that it is about transforming into something unrecognizable and monstrous, which is accompanied by a shift in perception and alternate states of mind, with the stars ascending in some liminal space. Whatever is going on here, the world is shifting for the individual, almost apocalyptic in nature. Like many songs on this list, it is a song about crossing over the irreversible threshold into new states of being and watching the old identity and persona fade away, or be torn away, as the case may be.
Rocket collecting dust, hidden from all memory, bathed in outrage and rust, waiting for you and me to own it. Watch you as you douse the ceiling, light up all the evil dreams till they ignite, screaming into the night, and we run away clean. I wish I was half electronic, got the dominoes, but you'll have to leave your lightning outside. I wish I would have fairly tried. The last tried to scare sweet sunlight, and I've turned into this smiling, snarling monster. As I watch the walls descend, as I watch the walls descend like stars. The weeds reach the top of the
Number 11, The Hermit, Chiron in my system. This is The Sign of the Southern Cross by Black Sabbath from the 1981 album Mob Rules. This is perhaps the best song of the Dio Sabbath era. I take it to be about searching for truth beyond illusion. The Southern Cross is the point of celestial navigation in the Southern Hemisphere and is used here metaphorically as the pole star, the guiding light. Asking the question of what is real, it evokes the imagery of a celestial journey. It warns against materialism and ignorance, suggesting the only way to find the answer, i.e. gnosis, is through wisdom. It is similar in ways to the song Someone Else by Queensryche, and I can see this as being about someone after they die and they enter the greater cosmos.
If there isn't light when no one sees, then how can I know what you might believe? A story told that can't be real somehow must reflect the truth we feel, yeah. Fade away, vanish into smoke. Fade away, break the crystal ball.
Number 12, Justice, famous in my system. The song is I Am Mine by Pearl Jam from the 2002 album Riot Act. This is about one's ownership of their own autonomy. In other words, taking control of their own destiny instead of coasting along. It is essentially saying, I am responsible for my own existence. I cannot surrender my inner self to outside forces. The idea is a mixture of memento mori, remember you will die, and carpe diem, seize the day. Knowing life is temporary does not make it meaningless. It makes every moment more valuable. The ocean represents a collective human emotional experience. The moon suggests cycles, reflection, and quiet observation. The idea that everyone carries sorrow connects personal pain with universal experience. Everyone has private struggles, but no one is entirely alone in having them. So the song is about the reclamation of the soul or spirit instead of relinquishing it to fate. One might say in defiance of the tyranny of the stars. In the Timaean sense, this would be the moment in the soul's growth when it stood up and began to walk. The first glimpse of its own cosmic agency and a taste of things to come.
The selfish, they're all standing in line, faithing and hoping to buy themselves time. I figure as each breath goes by, I only own my mind. The north is to south, what the clock is to time. There's east and there's west and there's everywhere light. I know I was born and I know that I'll die. The in-between is mine. I am mine. And the feeling gets left behind. Oh, the innocence lost at one time. Said never can behind the eyes. There's no need to hide. We're safe tonight. The ocean is full 'cause everyone's crying. The full moon is looking for friends at high tide. The sorrow grows bigger when the sorrow's denied. I only know my mind. I am mine. And the meaning gets left behind. All the innocence lost at one time. Significant behind the eyes. There's no need to hide. We're safe tonight.
Number 13, The Wheel, represented by Taiki in my system. And for this I chose the song Plateau of the Ages by Agaluk from the 2014 album The Serpent and the Sphere. Not only was this the final track on the Serpent album, representing one end of the Ouroboros cycle, it ended up becoming the band's final album before their breakup, and as such is their final album total. So the song representing the end of a cycle actually became the end of one of their own cycles as a group. The album itself deals with this cyclical time, and as such is fitting to place here at the end of this series of music. The total for the album is 1 hour and 16 minutes. And with that, I will bring this to a close. I will cut it off here. I will talk to you later. Until then, take it easy.